Good afternoon. I'm Matt Dolman from Dolman Russo, here with my partner in crime, business partner Stan Geip. I want to provide the first update of what's going to be many updates in what is known as the toxic baby food lawsuit, also known as heavy metals in baby food, resulting in neurodevelopmental disorders such as ADHD and autism. We're representing a host of clients who have neurodevelopmental disorders based on the amount of lead and arsenic contained in baby food. So, Stan, yesterday was the first hearing. It was in San Francisco in front of Judge Jacqueline Corley, United States District Court for the Northern District of California. We're thrilled about the judge. I think we have a great venue in Northern District. As you remember, Northern District was also home to Roundup and a number of other mass torts. Lead counsel in this case is Brent Wisner and Amy Wagstaff, two of probably the top 20 lawyers in the country. These are just phenomenal trial lawyers. Amy and Brent both they led the charge in against Monsanto, which was bought out by Bayer in the Roundup lawsuits. Brent, attained $1 billion verdict against Monsanto before his 35th birthday. Amy Wagstaff had multiple big verdicts, over $50 million, a few in the $100 million range. Just tremendous lawyers, tremendous individuals leading the charge. And I wanted to just get into, the meat and potatoes of this case because it's very early, Stan. I know we discussed this. Can you explain to the audience what general causation and specific causation are and how we distinguish this case versus a recent case that drew a lot of news, which was the claim that in utero exposure, pregnant women using acetaminophen or Tylenol caused autism or increased the risk of autism. This is a little bit different. We want to distinguish between the two cases and how we plan to prove up this case.
Well, let's first start with the general causation. I mean, this is almost the most simple one you could have. We've all been told over the last 30 years, don't let kids eat lead, right? Don't let them eat lead. Mm-hmm. Don't let them be exposed to lead. Let's stay away from lead paint, okay? There's no question that lead in the bloodstream, lead in your system can cause significant neurologic issues, neurodevelopmental delays.
Especially the developing brain.
All kinds. There's no question, okay? That's a given. And if that's all we had to show, we'd be asking people to write checks today because that's easy to show. Mm-hmm. That's not it, okay? Specific causation, that is, did the levels of heavy metals in the particular products consumed by our clients cause their neurocognitive issues? Okay, it's two separate issues. One, does lead cause it in general? Two, did lead or the heavy metal in the baby product cause this person's specific issue? That's where the fight is really on these toxic baby food claims, right? We're all together.
Yeah, unlike acetaminophen, we couldn't prove general causation. I shouldn't say we. The plaintiff lawyers that were involved in that case, they couldn't prove up that in utero exposure, pregnant women using acetaminophen or brand name Tylenol in sufficient dosages caused neurodevelopmental disorders. They could show it increased the risk based on, it was correlation. And we can explain what that is and how that differs from causation. We couldn't prove it actually caused it. We could show that in several studies there was an increased risk, but they weren't sure if that was really the reason or was other confounding factors that were involved.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, think of it like this, all right? People are telling pregnant women to take acetaminophen. No one's telling pregnant women to take lead. Right, it just no one's telling babies.
This isn't pregnant women; these are just infants and toddlers.
That's to say, no one's telling anyone to take lead, right? So we know lead is dangerous. We know to stay away from these things. That's why it's so surprising to find it in baby foods, right? If we know something is so dangerous, lead, arsenic, heavy metals, right? How did this end up in a food product directly distributed and produced for our society's most vulnerable? Right,
it's amazing.
Yeah, so these sort of levels of lead, okay, that's the big question, right? How does this happen? It's not a matter of, I don't think anyone's alleging that someone poisoned baby foods. No one's alleging that there was an intentional injection of lead into the process. What we're talking about is a lack of care, and what we're talking about is negligence in the manufacturing process that allows this level of lead and heavy metal to
100%.
get into
these manufacturers knew it. There was a 2021 congressional subcommittee report that came out that illustrated this, that showed that several of the manufacturers had lead and arsenic levels that were 30, 50, 70 times what would be considered deemed to be safe, as if there is a safe level of arsenic or lead. So some folks out there will say, well, hey, this is, if we did a blood sample of any individual, they're going to have a certain amount of lead or heavy metals in their body, and that is true. What we're telling you now is the cumulative effects and how heavy the amounts are in some of these brands is alarming, and it's disgusting, and these manufacturers knew it, and they didn't take any remedial measures to change it, and still to this very day, these products are sold on the shelves, and we want to hold these companies accountable. And that's the goal in this lawsuit. We're in the infancy. This case is going to take quite a while. I don't want you to lose hope. I don't want you to get discouraged. I don't want you to think we've lost confidence in the case, because that's not the truth. That couldn't be further from the truth. We're going to provide you timely updates via text message, via email, and also on the website Lawsuit Legal News. If you have any questions, any time of day, you can't get a hold of somebody, something seems off, nothing's making sense to you, you can email me, Matt, M-A-T-T, at dolmanlaw.com, DOLMANLAW.com. Dolman Russo is a combination of two law firms. It's Dolman Law Group and Russo Trial Lawyers. So Anthony Russo is the lawyer that's actually on the plaintiff steering committee. Both of our law firms have combined to form one mass tort firm. We're working on a number of projects. But this is our biggest project we're working on, and rest assured, the entire law firm is working on this case. Both Anthony Russo, I should say both, Anthony Russo, Stan Geip, and myself are all working actively on the heavy metal and baby food litigation. We're honored to represent you. We look forward to embarking on this long journey with you, and this is going to go on for a few years. And I want you to remain on the grid. Don't go off the grid. If you change your phone number, call us, email us, text me, whatever you got to do, stay in contact with us, because we're your attorneys and we're going to be in this fight for a long time.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity to represent you. We promise you we'll keep you up to date as long as you keep us informed with any changes to your information. So thanks again for allowing us to represent you.
Thank you, and have a great day.